Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Ron Wallace here with Balling Down South Sports Network. My next guest is definitely no beginner to winning or coaching on the college rim. She has 28 years, at least 28 years under her belt coaching. And I can tell you, boy, she has an awesome team at one of the universities in the state of Alabama. She's taken a team to the WNIT tournament, twice to the NCAA tournament. She has a couple Sun Belt championships under her belt and currently a regular season championship. And her coaching history overall is about 560 to 251. Let me go ahead and bring her on. Troy University head women's basketball coach, Chanda Rigby. How you doing today, Coach?
Hey, Ron, it's so good to be here. You're a great hype man. That was a good introduction. Thank you.
I try to make it do what it do, Coach. We gotta give you guys the credit that is due. Definitely with the program that you got over there at Troy University.
Thank you so much. We've been very blessed here. Thank you.
Now I had your husband on here probably a couple weeks ago, but enough about him. Talk about yourself a little bit for the people that don't know Coach Rigby at Troy University women basketball. Talk a little bit about yourself and how you got into coaching.
All right. So it's an interesting story. It's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. I started out as a high school English teacher, and and I just decided to go back to my first love of basketball. And there was an opening, and I took an opening in Mississippi. My husband's a football coach, as you said, and he got a job as an assistant coach at Northwest Rankin High School, and I got the head girls basketball job. And so just started out there, had no idea what I was doing, but God's blessed me throughout. I kept striving for the next level, the next level, the next level. I've been a head coach the whole way. I've never taken an assistant job. And so sometimes that puts you behind the eight ball. You might not get the jobs that everybody else wants. Though I've been at great schools, my history is kind of a turnaround agent, a change agent, and trying to go from worst to first everywhere I've been. So it's been a great journey. I left the high school ranks and made my way to an NAIA school out in Kansas, Tabor College. Was very blessed that they gave me a shot because I had no college experience. And then from there, went the junior college route in Mississippi first, and then to Pensacola State College. And from there, I was very blessed, very unusual to get to leave there with no Division I experience and get the job at Troy University. And that's where I still am. This will be my ninth year at Troy.
Wow, I can tell you, your husband had mentioned to me about he hadn't really earned or worked for a job in his life, but I can see why you guys are a blessed family. I take my hats off to you, and the man, and it wouldn't be possible without the man upstairs. I can tell you that. For you not having to
There's no
go do
doubt.
it, yes, ma'am. For you not having to
None, none,
go
of- none of
through,
this would have happened. And at Troy, when we got to Troy, we had I think the RPI was 347 out of 349 teams. So we had quite a way to claw back from. And so our motto has been, we're going to do things here so big that nobody can explain it without God being in it. And you can't
that's
explain it. You can't explain the success we've had, especially if you know my coaching ability. I'm not being humble, but I'm there's so many coaches out there that are better than me. They're better X's and O's coaches than me that haven't enjoyed this amount of winning. But I'll just say that, everything's better with prayer.
well, hats off to definitely to you. Now, we're gonna back up a little bit. Going back to your JUCO days when you were coaching, how was that experience? And from where you are now at a Division I school and a successful Division I school with a good program, how was that at the JUCO ranks? Because a lot of kids knock down, trying. I don't want to go to a JUCO. I want to go D1, D1. Talk a little bit about the JUCO ranks.
Well, I love the JUCO ranks. I still miss it, even though I'm so blessed to be at Troy. My heart is in a lot of ways. I just love that level. I think you can make a big impact at that level. A lot of the kids that we had there would not have gone to college if it weren't for a basketball scholarship, and they wouldn't have been successful in college if my staffs and I wouldn't have been that medium, because most of them are first in their family to go to college. And so we saw 100% graduation rate there at Pensacola Junior College then, just like we do now at Troy University. And so it's such a sense of accomplishment. But the difference really is in junior college, I was not only scheduling all their classes, doing tutoring, which is you can't even do that at the Division I level, doing the weight room, taping ankles, sometimes driving the bus. You do everything there. And so what does that produce? It produces an unbreakable bond with your team. And so you get to the Division I level, and you got somebody lifting them in the weight room. Sometimes you can't even be in there. You got somebody, you can't do their tutor, and that's that's an NCAA violation. You can't have them over to your house and do the things that you could do a lot of times in junior college with that freedom. So you have to almost work at the relationships a lot more. It doesn't come quite as natural, and so that's to me the difference.
Well, I can tell you this now. You guys went 25-4, 16-2, #1 seed in the Sun Belt tournament. Even though I know you guys weren't able to successfully finish the tournament because of the COVID situation, how were you able to get your young ladies prepared and ready to battle in the Sun Belt?
Two things. Because I've already mentioned my faith, but two things. I've got literally what I believe to be the best staff in the nation. Again, very blessed. I just got people on my staff that nobody does it better than them. And that is the honest truth. They've been with me for 7 years. That's unheard of for a staff to be together that long in the Sun Belt. So I'm blessed with that. But then even equally or maybe above that, the players we were blessed with this year were phenomenal. You talk about great players, we had some high major players that were playing for us in the Sun Belt. And it's not just that they were great players. They were so hungry. We had senior leadership like Japonica James out of Mobile, Alabama, who had won a national championship at Tallahassee Community College. I could go on and on, but the hunger in those ladies it was just unmatched. And so you add that with great talent, you got a pretty good mix right there.
Now, who do you have coming back on your roster that weren't seniors outside of some of the new ladies you got coming in?
Well, it sounded like we had a lot of seniors last year. We lost, we lost a lot, and we did. But we also have 7 seniors coming up this year. So, a lot of times it's who's been riding the bus longest, who's got the most experience. So we're excited about the group we have, even though we lost an awful lot. Our point guard has basically started us. This will be the 4th year she started for us, Jasmine Robinson. And she's from Georgia. She's phenomenal and just has grown much. It's her first year. She's a very physical kid, very muscular, very disciplined. She comes from a family that I think her dad was harder on her, getting her in shape than we are even here. So she can take a lot of pressure, and you want that in a point guard, especially your senior point guard. So she's coming back. Alexis Dye out of Birmingham, Alabama. She'll be back as a senior. She was one of the nation's leading rebounders. In fact, we were #1 in the nation again this year in rebounding. We out rebounded every team this year by an average of 15.4 rebounds a game, which was an NCAA record. We just got a plaque from that. But so Alexis Dye has led us in rebounding. She's a phenomenal rebounder. She played at Gulf Coast Community College. They won a national championship, and she was the most valuable player of the national tournament. So you see, we have players that we're very fortunate to have here at Troy. Those are some really high level players, and I could go on down the line, but those are 2 of our really talented ones right there.
Now, the new talent, the ladies that you just signed. Name a few of those young ladies and talk a little bit about what you saw in those ladies and the reason why you brought them to your program.
Well, off the top of my head, just because I talked to her just last night, we have a young lady from Africa, Thelma. She played at Tyler Junior College this past year, and she was a WBCA Player of the Year, Junior College Player of the Year this year. So her rebounded is phenomenal. There's a lot of parts of her game that are really, really good, but what fits in line with us most is her rebounding and her mobility at the post position. We got great players from all over. We've got a player, Sharonica Hartsfield she's from Oklahoma. She was a big name on the AAU circuit last year, and we were blessed to have her. She's a firecracker point guard that will come in right away and help us. I don't know how far down the line you want to go. Now I'm thinking about going back and giving credit to more of my seniors that I didn't mention, but yeah, we've got a talented group to hold the rope as seniors, and then we've got a talented group coming in as well.
Now, one word I keep hearing you keep saying junior college. So you sounds like you like getting some of those JUCO players. I'm assuming because they got some college under their belt, they'll be more mature once they come to your program. So it's still very important I think for these young kids to realize that Division I is not. If you can't get Division I, there's nothing wrong with going with JUCO. So if a kid wanted to come play for your program, what do you expect out of those kids, and what's your coaching philosophy?
Well, first of all, graduation is non-negotiable. We don't want anybody messing up our 100% graduation rate, and we don't only take pride in getting them graduated, but we continue, my staff does, to try to help them find careers and gain professional skills. We do resumes, mock interviews. So the self-improvement and making themselves ready for the world, they've got to want that. They've got to realize, understand the value that we're going to pour into them, and we want them to want that. Okay, because if not, it's just basketball, and we're about basketball. But we're also about greater things. So we want that. As far as a basketball player, we try to score 120 points a game. We have a method to our madness. We strive for 120 points. We practice every day. We scrimmage. We put 5 minutes on the clock. Both teams need to score 15 points in 5 minutes. Once they get to where they can do that, they understand. We do the math. We understand that if you do that for 40 minutes, you can score 120 points. And if you get to where you can score 120 points a game, not many people are going to beat you. So we haven't averaged 120 points yet, but in striving for that really high goal, we've fallen to be the top scorer in the Sun Belt every year we've been here, and we've led the nation 3 times in scoring. So we score a lot of points. So therefore, we just wouldn't go sign a player that doesn't score. Everybody on our team plays every night, usually every night, and so we don't wait for the best shot. We take the first shot because you got the nation's leading rebounders there to put it back up. So we really don't look for players who shy away from taking shots here. We want you to be really aggressive scoring, and then we expect everybody to go crash a board and rebound. So those are the things. You got to be able to play up tempo. Sometimes we have to teach that more once they get here. It's always better if you recruit it, if they know it when they get here, though. We did sign several high school players that are going to be great at that. Jaleesa Reese was a state champion this year, and just was also a big name on the AAU circuit. And so we recruit people that can score and rebound and play fast.
Now, I know you guys came down. You guys played South Alabama every year. That's one of your biggest rivalry games. I know with football they got battle of the belt. Do y'all battle for the belt as well in basketball?
Absolutely. It is a big deal that we were able to beat them, not only because they're a rival, but Terry Fowler is a great coach, and his staff, they do a great job. So we really feel like that these mid-majors here in Alabama are some of the best. Like we could go, we feel like we could go compete with anybody. I feel like that about our program, and I feel like that about him as well. So to be able to go in their house and take that game, that was big for us this year. It's always a battle.
And that was pretty much like a sold out crowd. It was. I know you had Pony James there, so she had a lot of crowd fans in the crowd. So I can tell you, and that game was going down to the wire, and I was able to watch that game. I was like, man, this is a pretty intense game. And I'm gonna ask you one more question before I let go. Go ahead, Coach. You about to say something?
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, that was awesome to that because it was kind of like a home game there for Japonica James. She did have a lot of crowd, but there was also a men's game after our game, so the people were flooding in. It was a sold out game, and yes, that was one of our best memories this year. To how close that game was, how competitive it was.
Now in this upcoming season, whenever you get an opportunity to play, who are some of the big heavy hitters? That's non-conference game for you guys coming up on your schedule.
Well, we always really try hard to play our in-state, all the big schools there. It didn't work out this year. So we're playing Tennessee, Mississippi State. We had a game with West Virginia. Because of COVID-19, we've had to adjust some things to play some teams that are closer, which is good. I'm really glad about that we're playing. We're keeping things low budget. Like for my junior college days, that's just a smart thing to do, right? So, but yeah, still on our schedule is the Tennessee game, Mississippi State. Those are probably our 2 biggest games.
Now the next few years, the Sun Belt Conference tournament is going to be in Pensacola.
Hey, it's kind of like my stomping ground there at one point. So I'm so proud of that though, because first of all, the Sun Belt just does an excellent job running our tournaments and doing just do a phenomenal job with the championship atmosphere. But I really think it'll be better in Pensacola than what we've had, even though it was really nice in New Orleans. And this year we would have played at the Smoothie King Center. Had we been able to play the tournament, it would have been great. But Pensacola, I think they're hungry for that. I think the people in Pensacola will get behind it. It'll be a more community feel. I saw yesterday they're putting up brand new big boards and scoreboards and all in the Bay Center, Pensacola Bay Center. So we're excited about that. And then even a portion of the tournament will be played over at Pensacola State College, where I actually coached. And so, yeah, I'm happy for the people there. And I've worked with the people there, the Pensacola Sports Association, and they are very professional, and they're going to do a good job.
Now, well, Coach, I'm going to ask you one more question. If you had a kid coming out of high school, they're playing in their final school year, getting ready to go play at the next level at any whatever college they're going to play at the next level, what would you tell that kid to concentrate on this season?
Well, this particular season, of course, it's so far it's unlike anything else. I would say this season, because it is different, it's almost like they need to concentrate on communication with the college coaches, because we're not going to see them person to person as much as we could. They're right now, we can't go out, period. We're peering through our computers trying to see them on screens playing right now. We can't go do visits with them. We can't go to their high schools. And, there was a time where, you would call players and try to get in front of them. And if they were hard to get in touch with, or you couldn't, then it was okay. We kept pursuing them because we could go to their school and go to their house. Well, there's none of that. So I would say answer your phone and call people back and stay in communication, email. One little tip, because there might be some high school kids listening to this that need that tip. If you send information to a coach on you, like so many times, I might get 30 or 40 a day, a player or her coach is sending us information. We get a lot of those a day. Go ahead in the beginning of that email and put your most impressive stats or what you bring to the table, because we get so many of those. You might be the best thing in the world, but we literally do not read all of those all day. But if I see somebody that jumps up there for us at scoring or rebounding, and somebody's averaging 14 rebounds a game, I'm gonna click down. I'm gonna read it. So that's a little tip I always give players who, and now more important than ever, that they're sending out emails or their coaches are on them. Put your selling point up there at the beginning, so we'll keep on reading it. Separate yourself out.
What about highlights in social media?
I mean, I try to look at those again. If I'm going to click on a lot of them, a whole lot between my staff and I. We watch a lot, but we're definitely not going to pass on one if there's something on there that spurs us to say this is a good fit for us. This kid brings something to the table I'm looking for. So I would say always write it on there or put your best foot forward with something to get somebody's attention, because I don't think players realize how many of those we get a day. And, that's not the only thing we're doing is sitting and looking at film. So I don't want to miss on a good player. If you can contribute to us, tell me in the beginning, and then I'll open up your film and for sure.
And about social media, bad or good?
Social media is great. I mean, it's great. And one thing we're getting together for next year for our athletes is teaching them how to build their own platform that can help them the rest of their life through social media. Social media can be terrible too. We've seen coach after coach and person after person lose their jobs this year because of silly things put on social media. I know tons of players lose scholarship opportunities because of things that they put on social media. So it's like anything else. It can be a curse or it can be a blessing. It's how you use it. I can't stress enough, use that platform as a blessing. Use it as a blessing. You can get seen and heard by so many more people. Just make sure it's the message you want seen and heard.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Troy University women's basketball head coach Chanda Rigby. Thanks for coming on the network, Coach.
Go Trojans, and thank you, Ron.
Much better than this. Spin to